From the African People's Congress.
Okay, so
no other.
They wrote in very recently.
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
And you know the law gives INEC only 30 days to respond. If INEC does not act within 30 days, they stand automatically registered. And so that was why when an application comes in, INEC is obliged to act on the application that comes in, not to wait for prospective applications, because you have only 30 days. If you don't respond one way or the other within 30 days, then the party stands registered. So when that application came in, INEC had to consider that application on its merit within the time frame and responded. And any other application that comes in will be considered on its merit.
Well, with this particular decision now, I mean, this where you stand right now with the addresses, the addresses of the officials of the African People's Congress. Are you saying that if they bring the addresses, I mean, can they bring the addresses? If something was missing, you can reapply with the addresses of those people and they get registered? Is it not possible? Well,
they've sent in an application. INEC has responded on the basis of the application that they sent in.
What I'm asking is it possible for them to reapply? Is this something that is doable, or after you've been rejected,
there are no issues with the name anymore? Because don't forget that there were people contending for the names. And when one goes down, another one comes in.
Okay, so in other words, you've somehow the way has been cleared for the progressive.
As at now, because you see, INEC considers application on its merit. There's another application. Okay. I mean, there's another notification concerning a name.
Okay.
And INEC will consider that on its merit.
Same.
But as we speak, INEC has responded on account of the African People's Congress to say you did not meet Section 222A of the Constitution, and sorry, you can't be registered with that. I mean, as you sought.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about merger now, and let's say finally the APC finally gets registered. What happens to the existing parties that have come up to merge to form the APC?
Now,
will you be needing some communication from them to take them off the list?
No, what Section 84 of the Electoral Act actually provides for is that there's no single group, no single merger group that can send in an application to INEC. Now, what they are required to do is that each constituent party seeking to go into a merger will call a convention and get a ratification of the resolution to go into a merger from the convention of the party. Of course, INEC will be privy to that convention. Now, they will now send in a letter to INEC in their cognizance, in their individual cognizance, stating that they want to go into a merger with X name. And other constituent groups will do likewise. So it is when all those applications come in from the constituent parties, INEC will look at how far they have met the criteria. If they meet the criteria, the individual certificates of the parties will be withdrawn, and a new joint certificate will be issued.
So the way it is now with this measure, we have already seen, has that step been taken?
No, I guess that they are just bidding to call their conventions. So it's when they call their conventions that they
At what point can we say it will be late for them to do all of that?
Incidentally, the law provides for 90 days before a general election. But beyond just the days, there are a lot of things that they also need to do. So, but strictly speaking, the law gives them up to 90 days before a general election to do that, and I mean we are a long way before.
In the event that maybe political parties like the African People's Congress and the All Progressive Congress finally gets registration, registered by INEC. That's what I meant to say. Do you have anything with the acronym or the logo? Is there anything that says no two parties can have the same acronym when they have different logos?
Yes, obviously. You can't have similar names. You can't have similar logos in order to, and the law makes
because they have different logos already.
Yes, you can't have similar names so that the electorate is not confused. You don't make things difficult for them in making their choices. And so the law recognizes that you cannot have similar identities by whatever standard, acronym names, logos, or whatever. You cannot have similar identities. And so if there is a potential conflict between identities, it will be resolved on the basis of the first whose application is validly filed. And I say validly now, not timeously. You could file first in time, and unfortunately you don't meet the conditions, then somebody else files.
Now, also moving away from the APC controversy, you can see that things are already heating up, and politicians are already preparing for 2015. Is INEC also doing the same? Absolutely.
We're doing a lot of things. And there's so much that we have done, and there's so much that we are yet going to do. For instance, this year, we have already started the process of the constituency delimitation. You will remember that the last...
Constituency delimitation?
Yes, delineation and delimitation. The last was done in 1996.
What does that mean?
The redistricting of the voting population in order to preserve as best as possible the principle of effectiveness of voting, one man, one vote. For instance, you know that right now you have some constituencies that are almost 4 times another constituency, and yet the representative is one for each of those constituencies. Now you have to redistrict to make sure that if you are voting in your constituency, the effectiveness of your representation is almost equal to that of another person. And the last of that, the one that was done in 1996, under 1996, under a military regime for that matter. And then ever since then, it's not been done. The law provides actually that it should be done every 10 years, 10 years, because a census is also required to be done at an interval of 10 years, and it's to be done after a census. That has not happened in Nigeria, but we are going ahead to do that because you discover that one of the immediate effects of the situation we have is the complaints that people have about population density, disproportionate density of population in diverse areas. I mean, it's even such that the shifts in population figures in some areas. It's not that where in 1996 there were few people there, you have huge settlements that have been established there now. And
it's a very interesting concept. I mean, what you talked about, isn't that just a natural problem? Because, I mean, all states are not equally populated. So what you have is that generally, especially when it comes to elections, for instance, say the House of Reps or the Senate, some people will be representing much more than some other people will be. Yeah, but when you redistrict, then you can increase the number. You can increase the 360, for instance, and you can't increase the Senate, the number in the Senate. But you can redistrict in a way to make the population, the electoral zones more proportional to one. But that would only be within a state. Yes, within a state, because two districts or a district cannot fall within 2 states, for instance. So it has to be within the state, within the state boundary.
The last election in Abuja, one of the issues that came up was the late arrival of materials. Now, the headquarters of INEC is in Abuja, yet materials arrived late. We're talking about preparing for the next election, delineation, and all of that. But what's INEC doing to ensure that we don't have a repetition of this? Someone was here talking about another option for elections, option A, option 3, and all that. Is INEC thinking of looking for other methods?
2 things. You see, it's unfortunate that the materials got late at all. It's unfortunate. But the truth of the matter is that it is not as bad as it is made out to be.
Should it be?
That's why I say it is unfortunate. But the truth also is that, honestly, and I've been privileged to be in a few of the countries that have been conducting election, and I can't recall one where 100% in all the polling units materials arrive on time, because we are talking, it's not science, it's sociology. I mean, It doesn't matter what you do on paper. It doesn't matter the precision